Hi, my name is Jessica Christian. I'm 26 years old. I'm a mother of four beautiful babies. I have a 6-year-old. His name is Idris. I have a 4-year-old. His name is Isabel. I have a 1-year-old. Her name is Infinity. And then I have a baby boy. He's 4 months old, and his name is Isaac. That's my little I tribe. Um, I'm so thankful for my children. Um, they have given me life and light. They give me purpose. They are my assignment. I'm I'm grateful to be a mother. Some days it's hard, but it takes a village to raise a child, and I have so many people in my life who are here for me and my children. And so I'm so thankful for the people that are here for us, and I'm just thankful for the support that I have in the community. I'm thankful for the help that there is for mothers, and I'm thankful for God in my life. Putting Jesus first has been um, what has kept me every time I've ever gotten off track. From the time I first became a mother, I was 20 years old when I had my first son. And, at the time that I had my first son, I struggled with very severe depression, that bipolar disorder. I always tried to self heal. Liquor, I would run to liquor to self heal. And I feel like at the time having my first son, after I had him, I struggled with postpartum depression really bad. And I realized that I I didn't really know how to cope with it quite well after my first son. And so I ran more so to liquor or what was familiar to me. And I have always had a lot of help with my children. So, I would find myself more, working more or being out more occupied with things like I think to distract myself in a sense. But I realized that my son always brought me back home because I always just wanted to be with my son. Um, but um, dealing with the depression was hard, having a child. And, you have to put yourself first as well because when you're going down on an airplane, they say put your oxygen mask on first. If I'm not okay, my child's not okay. So at the time, I struggled, with my first child, going through a toxic relationship and just dealing with a lot of just just life issues. And I I just had a hard time, but I always would ask God to help me, on this journey. But at the time, I wasn't as strong and as depending on God. Um, I went through a period where I had to be away from my son because I had gotten in trouble and I got a charge, and I had to spend a couple months in jail. And so that was hard for me. That was my first baby. Like I missed I mean I saw him walk, but I didn't see him take that step. And it was hard, you know, I missed him. So, when I came home, I was on my mind was set on getting myself together. I had a lot of time with God in the cell. I spent my time in Bible studies. I spent my time in NA and AA, and little meetings they give you and stuff. And so I have been charged up, like ready to go. I'm like, all right, I'm back on my grind. I'm trying to focus on my dreams and goals, focus on my child, you know. And then literally, I got pregnant immediately after I got out of jail with my second son. And I had him. I found out I was pregnant with him 23 days after I got out of jail. And it's wild because while I was spending time in the cell, I would be reading my Bible, and the Holy Spirit led me to the verse that said about sexual immorality. And I had this deep conviction, like, girl, if you get out of here and you go and you have sex with that man, you gonna have a baby. And yup, sure did. Got pregnant immediately. Got pregnant immediately. Oh my gosh. But So that pregnancy was super peaceful, though, I will say, because I spent the majority of time in my house. And I think that that pregnancy was like really sent to save me because Lord knows that honestly, if I would have got out of jail and I got pregnant, I probably would have legit ran right back to the streets, like, period. And so I got pregnant and I was sat right down. I couldn't be outside. I couldn't go back doing nothing outside. So I was just inside, chilling, going to church, working. Um, I was just pregnant. And I had my son, Azar, and you know, I was very focused at the time. I actually, like, my son was like a light. When I think of his name, Izzo Ray, I think of like a beam of light. Like, I remember when I was pregnant with him, Idris used to sing to me, and he would say, "Twinkle, twinkle, little star." So I felt like he was calling on Azar. And I don't know, I just, like, I really think Azar was the one that was like sent to bring me that peace that I needed in that time. Because from the time I was 14 years old, I have been living a life of partying, you know, uh, drinking out all night with my friends, staying out all night with my friends, hanging out, just hanging out, literally from 14 to like 18. And then, I calmed down a little bit because I was in a relationship. And then I had my son, boom, back outside again. I'm back outside again. Ain't there a song like that? I know I'm singing it wrong, but anyways. Um, oh yeah, I'm back outside. And they're gonna make me mad. Okay, anyways. So yeah, I I I lived a life like everything that I feel like as an adult, like I already got all that stuff out the way. Like I grew up too fast. When I was 14, I was like outside. I was already, you know, already done lost my virginity. I was outside hanging out with my friends all the time. Literally never wanted to come home, sneaking out, skipping school. Like I was the rebel child. I was raised in the church, but by the time once that fresh air hit me, baby, I was swimming in that water. Butt naked. Just jumped off, no shame in my game. Like, period. Jumped off that porch. Like, I did not care. And I didn't care what nobody was saying about me. I didn't care what nobody was telling me. I don't care. I'm doing what I want, when I want, and I'm going to do it how I want. That's always been my attitude. I used to be a little sneaky, like hide stuff, and then I would get in trouble, or like they would catch me up because like I was so terrible at sneaking. So I always just been super bold. Like I've always been super loud. I'm loud everywhere I go. Like when people see me, they know like I'm the life of the party. Like I like to dance. I like to have fun. I like to laugh. I like to sing. Like I talk a lot. I talk a lot. I run these lips. I run these chops. Like I really do. I be running these choppers. I do. Definitely do. But yeah. So I mean, I just when I had my first son, I still kind of wasn't really done with the party. I think the reason why I was like inside was really because I was in a relationship. I'm all cooped up in the house, and like really I wanted to be outside with my friends. Like I was like 20 years old, 19, 20. Like mind you, prior to that, I was in a relationship in high school too that was like 2, 3 years long. So like I had been like a housewife at like 16. Like girl, I was ready to be outside. Like again, like every time I got in a relationship, I was terrible in relationships. I'll cut everybody off. I be in up under the man and don't want to do nothing but hang out with my man. And then yeah, it just became I just lost myself because I'm so sprung out on him. So, anyways, but I still wanted to be outside. Like I feel like being when I was with my son's father, like he just wanted me to be inside. Like he was like, "No, you can't be outside." Like, and but mind you, he wasn't wrong because in high school I was really reckless. Like I'm talking drinking bottles like every night with my friends outside, popping pills and drinking bottles. We run in the streets. We like real hood rats. Like just jumping out of cars. Like just doing stupid stuff. Abandoned house. I got a charge in an abandoned house when I was 14 years old because we done stuck into our parents' house and was drinking in the house and partying in the house. And the cops got called and we all got charged with underage possession of alcohol, breaking and entering, just stupidness, just foolish, real stupid stuff. Because honestly, we were done. It was daytime, I think, when we went in there, so we were real stupid too. But yeah, like I just like to, I just always like to have fun. I just never wanted to be home. I lost my interest in wanting to go to church. I lost my interest in really wanting to do anything that my family was doing. I just wanted to hang out. And but in this hanging out process, I found myself um, in a compulsive. I'm like a compulsive person, so I found myself in a compulsive manner. Now I'm like I'm always wanting to party. I'm always wanting to drink. Like school wasn't important, church wasn't important, family wasn't important, nothing was important but me hanging out and drinking and doing drugs and going to parties. Like that's all I cared about was being seen in the town, going to all the house parties and going to the college campuses and hanging out and going on road trips to go to parties and stuff. Like that's all I cared about. That's all I cared about. And that became very uh, dangerous for me because while this lifestyle consumed me, it really consumed me because I lost sight of everything that was important, like even my grades, my school, like they ready to fail me for classes and then I start getting in trouble. I'm stealing, I'm doing all type of craziness, like with my friends, we just getting caught in stores stealing stuff and stuff, stupid stuff, charges for like stuff like little stupid knickknacks we stealing, like just dumb, but like just dumb, getting little stupid charges and stuff. But like getting kicked out of school for doing stuff in school, like getting smart with the teachers, ready to fight people, all types of just dumb. But that was just me. Like I always had something to say. I don't shut my mouth. It's reckless. Reckless. The Lord is working with me. It's reckless though. I ain't gonna sit here in front like I'm just righteous and holy. No, I'm a different type of believer. I have walked through hell. I have walked through fire. I have walked through fire. Okay? I'm a different type of believer. The Holy Spirit is definitely with me, and Jesus is my Lord and Savior. When I was 4 years old, I gave my life to Christ. When I was 4 years old, I gave my life to Christ. I remember nobody told me. They told me about Jesus. They brought me to church all the time. But I was sitting there in the Sunday school class, and I felt the Holy Spirit touch me, and I heard a voice in my mind tell me to go walk up to the altar that they were doing baptisms. Mind you, the basement. We was in the basement. How did I know that? I walked up the steps, went to find my granddaddy, and I asked to be baptized. And they called me to the front for, to talk about being baptized. But I wanted to give my life to Christ. So from that moment, even as a little girl, I was very saturated in God. Like my grandmother worked hard to keep me. I was raised by my grandmother. She wanted to keep me surrounded in the church. Centered my life. My life was centered on Christ. It was. I went to a private school, and from the time I was in like kindergarten to fifth grade, um, and I was very sheltered. Like she didn't really want me to go places. I mean, unless it was like my friends from the church and stuff. Like I was allowed to hang out with them and stuff like that. But you know, um, I was sheltered. She just wanted to keep me safe. My mom, she was just like a little unstable at the time. She had other children to take care of. She was kind of moving around a lot. Um, and so I was with my grandma. My dad worked a lot, so it was just better for me to be with my grandma. But she loved Jesus, and the woman was in church about from Sunday to Sunday. Like I'm not playing. I was in church every day. I was in church like every day. I'm not playing. So but then some of my church friends, they went to public school. So it's like I'll be like, well, grandma, why can't I go to public school? Like private school was so like the classrooms were like 3 or 4 people in the classrooms. Like everybody knew everybody. So me personally, like I like big crowds of people, and I like the attention, and I wanted to be in the mix. I like I've always been like that. Like since I was little, I love like when my family would take me to, like birthday parties and weddings. I love me a good wedding, girl. I'm gonna be the first one and the last one on the dance floor. Period. I'm gonna be up there. I'm just getting it. I've always been like that. But anyways, um, so yeah, I was in private school and I was in the church a lot. And then as I got to middle school, I had begged to go to public school. And I just began, I feel like it was a lot to take in because it was a lot of kids. Okay. It was like, compared to a private school, oh my goodness, it's hundreds of kids at a middle school, at a public school. So, it was definitely different. It was a little overwhelming. Then you have to think I was raised in an environment where there was only one God, one belief. There was only one belief in Jesus Christ. That means that um, God was Yahweh was above that school. There was no other gods, no other beliefs, nothing else, right? So then I get into an environment where there's all type of different backgrounds, different beliefs, different types of situations, different parents, different, just everybody mixed together, like the melting pot, right? And so coming from a place where you kind of been like guarded from like the world of everybody, like of culture in general, um, it can be kind of like you're trying to find a place to fit in, right? But you see, as a Christian, we're meant to stand out. We're meant to be set apart. But at the time, being young, I didn't really understand that. I just knew I felt like I didn't fit in nowhere. Like I wanted to be friends with everybody, but nobody wanted to be friends with me. Everybody was mean. People had cliques. You know what I'm saying? You got this clique, that clique, that clique. They all clicked up. You try to say hi to somebody and they'd be looking at you like you spit on them. Like I wasn't used to that. I was raised in the church and I was raised inside of a private school where everybody knew everybody. Like we would go outside for activities and it would be all the children in the school, all the teachers, everybody knew everybody and everybody talked to everybody. There was no cliques. We didn't have that. We didn't have cliques. I mean, we might have had our little group of friends, you know what I mean? But nobody was really mean. And if there was anything that was mean, it was like, it would get checked real quick. It would really get checked real quick because they wasn't letting that type of environment be made there. So, get into a public school and that environment is like, wow, like, it's a lot different. You got a lot of different energies going on. You got a lot of different people. You got a lot of different beliefs. You got different gods. You got different spirits. You got everything. That's the real world right there, all mixed together in one big melting pot. Real talk. And when I got there, it was like I was trying to find my placement, and I found that people were mean. Like I felt like I didn't fit in nowhere. And then I tried to be friends with everybody. And then that's a problem. You can't be friends with everybody. That's what they say. The world is all about separation. They're like, nope. If you don't qualify here and you don't have this little dooley bop, you don't fit here. Okay. I just been taught that you're supposed to love everyone. So I thought that you were supposed to love everybody, no matter who they are, where they come from, what background they are, black, white, blue, or Mexican. Like I always loved everybody. But when I got to school, in public school, I realized that wow, like the world teaches you to separate. The world teaches you to click up. The world teaches you to gossip and be mean. The world teaches you to fight. The world teaches you to be jealous and envious. The world teaches you to hate one another. The world teaches you to be separated. Then you got all these different religions, and people want to fight about religion. Then you got politics. People want to fight about politics. You got, we're learning all these different subjects. Like, it's a lot to take in. Wow. And like, it's a lot to take in, especially when you went like the first half of your school year. You just never experienced. You weren't born into that. You know what I mean? You were like you were brought out of that. You weren't in that, and that for me, I feel like what happened was I got sucked in because I want to love everyone. So I'm gonna be there for everybody, right? And they call that a for everybody as ooh, I ain't trying to cuss, but they call that a forever, yeah, for anybody type person. So I'm like, but what's so wrong with loving everyone? What's so wrong with having a heart and loving everybody? What is so wrong with that? What is so wrong with that? Please be for real. So, anyways, I realized quickly that I got sucked in because here I am. I'm trying to fit in with everyone. I'm finding myself, clicked up with everybody. So to me, I like to, because I learned quickly that I don't fit in with nobody. So I'm just like, everywhere I go, I feel like I find something that I relate to with everyone. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's not, but then it's like people try to make me feel bad for being like that. Or they would tell me I was fake. Or they would tell me because or if I go hang out with this person and that person, I'm like, wait a minute. I don't got nothing to do with your beef with that person. I'm just saying hi to everybody. But I was always like that. I was just genuine. I was nice. Um, but then the world can make you cold. The world can make you cold for real. And I feel like trying to fit in and being treated differently, I felt like I was an outcast and I felt like I just didn't fit in. And then I was always trying to seek a way for attention. It's already that my parents, I didn't really have, close connection with my parents like a everyday. So I already had that abandonment. I already had that feeling of rejection. I already had that. I already had that feeling. So it kind of just dug in the wound even more, being rejected. So I always find myself trying to fit in. Trying to figure out what's the new latest trends or what do I how do I fit in with these people or that people? I just found myself as though I was like a chameleon. Like I found myself fitting in with everyone in some way, shape, or form. Um, but I I began to seek attention in other ways. Boys, parties. I'm outside. I'm wearing whatever I want, whatever. Outside half naked. I'm like 14 though. Like the stuff that I was wearing when I was like 14. My girl would be like, "Go take that off right now." Like, but I'm like, the other girls are wearing it. The other girls' mamas let them wear that. She would not want me to wear makeup. I'll be like, the other girls' moms are letting them wear makeup. Like, don't do that. But anyways. So yeah, I feel like being brought into the world from the church. Though I will say that it always brought me back to God. Like I always knew, being raised as Jesus as the center of my life, I always knew to go back to God, even when I felt like I like kind of drifted